Hey everybody, I have a rant. It's a little bit of a rant. My daughter found a video on her YouTube, on her Facebook news feed today, and she was like, I was out of the room, and she's like, "Oh, mom," and I'm like, "What?" She's always showing me stuff. She's like, "You got to see this. This woman is like beating her daughter so bad." She backs it up. I come in and I watch it. It's been up since December of 2014. So some of you may have already seen it. Uh, she's whipping her daughter with a wire hanger. It may be plastic. I don't know. The hanger's moving pretty fast, but it's a hanger, and you can tell by the shape of it. And she's made her daughter lay across the bed while she just steadily just whips her with the hanger. And she's telling her she's not raising no hood rat up in here. And I told Madison, my daughter, I was like, she's the only hood rat that I see in this video. She's literally beating her like a hood rat would beat somebody and saying, I ain't raising no hood rat. Basically, what she's saying is she doesn't want any competition. Um, and those videos are all over the internet thanks to World Star Hip Hop, who glamorizes this shit. And I remember there was a time, oh, she ended up beating that girl. She hit her 47 times. We counted it repeatedly, and it ended up, we both came to the same number at one point, and it was 47. 47 lashes in less than 2 minutes. So, all because she said she won't raise in a hood rat, and she wasn't going to have her daughter be in, and I couldn't understand what it was, but a thought. And it's, I Googled it, T-H-O-T, never fucking heard of that one, that little street lingo there. But it's basically a hoe or something. A lot of folks have their own opinions about what a thought is, T-H-O-T. I don't know where that came from, how they came up with, where did they derive the letter grouping and what it has to do with being a whore or a skank or whatever. So she keeps screaming she ain't gonna have her being a thought, and she ain't raising up no hood rats in there, in her home. And there's a man recording it, and you can hear him kind of mumbling in the background. You can't really make out a lot of what he's saying. So there's two adults in this house that are perfectly okay with the way they're treating this girl. She's probably, it's hard to tell because she's blurred out, but she's in a shirt and a pair of fucking underwear. She put her daughter on display in a shirt and a pair of underwear on the internet. And it made me think about the one where the woman beat her daughter for doing the pass out game, where they choke themselves till they pass out, or someone like holds their chest until they pass out. I remember when that came out. But there's that one too, and she's literally holding that girl by the arm and just following her like a windmill, just going around and around and around. And the little girl's screaming, and she's probably around 12, this kid, maybe not even that old. And the mother looks like she's wearing fucking clothes that she bought at Kids R Us. I mean, she's like skinny. She's wearing skinny jeans and they're fucking baggy on her. Okay, so this little fucking crackhead bitch is beating her child for trying a pass out game and telling her how wrong it is and how she's going to get it. And it's like she's saying, I love you so much, I'm going to beat the fuck out of you because I love you so much. It's easy to whip a child, and I've always said this. It is so easy to whip a child, just to beat that child. Try raising them. It's so different. So different. Opening your mouth and spending the time and the effort to actually talk to your kid and raise your kid so that your kid actually respects you and doesn't fear you. These kids only fear them. That's it. And I'm going to put links to the videos that I'm talking about in the description. I remember reading in school, and during the time of the black culture, when whippings were acceptable and actually encouraged. They were encouraged. Beatings and whippings, horrible ones, hundreds and hundreds of whips, and it was encouraged. It was a disciplinary action that was routine. It was expected. And no one thought twice about it in the black culture in history, and that was during slavery. And I thought that they were past all that, but they just switched the roles. So now they're giving birth to this offspring that they can just freely treat the way that masters treated their slaves, their ancestors back in the day. And that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what's happening. It's a power trip. They don't love these kids. That's not why they're doing it. I'm sure they love their kids, but that's not why they're doing this. It's a power trip. And there was also a time when whipping your kid was acceptable. We're talking way back in the day. White people, black people, didn't matter. Whipping your kid, people kept their noses out of it. Then we went through the times where you abuse like that kind of whipping is abuse. It's abuse. And it was something you kept behind closed doors. And before you sent your kid off to school, you made sure no one could see the marks. Shit like that. These women not only think it's acceptable methods of raising a child to whip them like they're cows and like pigs and a horse, but that they should be proud of it. They're wearing it on their sleeve like a badge of honor to show what a good mother they are. They're too dumb to fucking realize that it is simple abuse, and those kids do not respect them. Those kids fear them. Just like when you get robbed on the street, you don't respect the guy that's robbing you. That's not why you're giving him the shit you have. It's because he's holding a gun on you or a knife. It's fear. It's not respect. And that's what these people are doing. They need help. They actually need to not have their kids anymore. They really need to have their kids taken away. Some of them actually even say they're willing to go to jail to enforce the discipline in their home. One guy commented on one of the videos I saw, and he said that that's best to beat the, how did he put it? To beat it out of them. He said beat the issue or whatever it was out of them. It's better to do that than to let them grow up a hoe. Beat it out of them. And I commented back and said, you sound like a fucking slave owner. Yeah, that's slavery shit. That's what they did. They used to beat the discipline into them. And that's what you're saying. You're completely okay with slavery discipline now, so long as it's parents on their kid. How can you look at your child, beat them the way that they beat them, and claim to love them? How does it not break your heart to see your child walk out of their room after a nice long beating like that you've recorded and put on the internet as your badge of honor for being Mother of the Year? Look how much she loves her child. She was willing to beat her and let everyone watch. And the one woman that was beating her kid, oh, I lost track of it. But how can you watch your kid come out of that room with whelps and marks and just the grief in their face? You haven't defeated the issue. You've defeated their spirit. You've broken that child. Your daughters are not going to grow up with self-respect. They're not going to grow up with a friend like a mother that they can go to and speak to when they have an issue. You're not going to know what's going on in their lives because they're not going to come to you. They'll make it to 18, hopefully. But after that, you've put an adult into the world that can't function. Their minds can't function. You've broken them. If this is a regular thing that you do all the time, you have broken your child. Their spirit is destroyed. And that's really sad to me. That's really sad. You're defeating whatever it is that you are trying to do. You're defeating it. It's not going to work. And I'd like to hear some people's opinions on this. The black culture, the ones who do this, they say, you don't understand, it's a black thing. It's the culture we are in. You wouldn't understand. You're white with your blonde hair and your green eyes, and you wouldn't understand. You want us to accept the shit that you do like this to your kids, like it's a cultural thing. It's abuse. I don't give a fuck who you are. And it is everyone's business, not just black folks. We are not put aside that we can't say something about it because we're too fucking white. Humans are humans. I guess I'm the only one that can see the equality amongst all of us, because black people all want to see the division. They wanted equality. They have their civil rights activists from back in the day, and even now, that have fought for equality amongst the blacks and the whites and everybody. But suddenly they want a division. Oh, well, there's got to be that barrier here where you don't understand, so you can't judge. No, you don't get to have your cake and eat it too. You're equal or you're not. And it doesn't work with whatever's best for you. No, fuck that shit. These people are beating their kids and they're proud of it. They're fucking proud of it. I hope that they're able to track ISPs on these videos, do some identity issues with the videos and the voice identity, and get these kids out of this shit. And these moms, you're not moms, you're slave owners. Yeah, you're fucking slave owners. You read a book. Have you even studied the history of the people before you, the blacks before you, or do you just use the slavery thing as an excuse to get your one up? You know, to get your payback, that America owes you something. I'm bouncing the camera around with my leg, I'm sorry. That America owes you something because of what your great grandmas and grandpas and uncles and aunts went through. Because you need to know the history. Pick up a fucking book. Put down your goddamn cell phone and pick up a book. Quit recording these videos. Put the phone down and pick up a book and read about your history. You will see the similarities in what you're doing to your kids and what was done to your great relatives, whatever they were to you. The similarities are undeniable. I'm just disgusted. This may absolutely trigger nothing with anybody for all I know, but I don't really give a fuck who I piss off. I get real sick of seeing this world star hip hop shit glamorizing the abuses in the black race. And the African Americans look at world star hip hop. Not all of them, obviously. There are some African Americans out there that go, them people are fucking embarrassing. They're embarrassing. I know because I've spoken to you guys before. And they look at World Star Hip Hop as their site, their website for their culture. It's not doing you any favors. It's just not. It's focusing on all the negative things about your culture that you embrace so positively, and then you still expect people to look at the black race overall as a progressive and positive thing. I don't see people in groups like that, but I know how other people are. I individually judge everybody. But I'm looking at the way other people see it. Black people this, black people that. I am the first one to sign a petition. I'm the first one to speak out when it comes to inequalities with blacks amongst the whole. And because of that, I am going to be the first one to speak out when blacks are hurting themselves. They're doing less for themselves than I'm doing for them, voice-wise. If you've got nothing more than a video camera, which you obviously have, and a computer or editing software and a voice, you can do what I'm doing. But instead you choose to videotape the beatings and wear it like a badge. You're fucking embarrassing. You're not a mom. I'm a mom. You're not a mom. Anyway, I'm going to put those links up down there. They really piss me off. And there are so many more. So many more. World Star Hip Hop is an embarrassment to black people. It is such a negative to the African Americans. And they don't even see it. They don't even see it. But hey, it's on them. I see it. I see it every time I see one of them fucking videos go up. I've made my mistakes bringing up my kids. But I'm going to tell you what. That shit right there, that's not a mistake. Mistakes are things you don't mean to do. These women intentionally do this shit. Fuck them. These women ain't moms. They're hood rats. They're ratchet pieces of shit. They ain't got no more clue how to raise a child than they do how to raise a cow. They don't have a clue. They need to pick up a book and read about their history. Thanks for stopping by and listening to my shit. Hit the red button below and hang out with me some more. And everybody have a really great night. Bye.